Hey everybody, today we've got a very special garden tour for you.
Yes, we do. We have a very good friend who was able to secure us a tour of Glin Castle Gardens in County Limerick.
And this was the historic home of the Knight of Glin.
The Knight of Glin.
And
his daughter has inherited the property and is now, and she would be known as the Chartelaine.
Chartelaine.
I'm not sure.
Another word we're not so familiar with, but that's a woman. I looked it up. It's a woman who runs a large estate.
Yes.
And
her father would have been the Knight of Glin.
Yes, and after he passed, she inherited the property and has been improving upon it. Her father actually became quite famous in the area for really supporting the arts, for the enhancing the gardens, making the castle and the grounds more accessible.
Right.
And to this day, they still host like garden festivals. They had a harp festival or harp concert on this week, a small harp
That's what we heard. We weren't at it. We just heard that.
Yeah, we didn't make it to that.
Yeah. And actually, Catherine is a horticulturist.
So she
really knows her stuff.
And our friend who took us around the property said, "I'm so sorry, I'm not the right person to give you this tour. I don't have all the wonderful history." She said, "You really need to be with Catherine." And so hopefully one day we'll get to see the property with Catherine. And
I'd love to
get a little bit more of the story. Yeah. So we just got to enjoy it as just spectators walking through
and seeing the castle. I mean, it's a private garden, so to be able to go through the private garden and see the castle, Glin Castle, stunning structure and building.
So we're going to take a look, and we'll just kind of talk over what we're seeing here. So as we walked in, the first thing we could see was this beautiful tree, and it's called a Lebanese cedar.
Yeah.
And absolutely stunning, large,
huge
tree.
branches. Like obviously not native, but it's really a stunning tree. I'd like to have one, but it's going to take too long. I will be gone by the time that grows. So we will not be getting one.
And apparently there aren't a lot of them in Ireland. So it's a unique feature of Glin Castle. Now,
obviously planted at least, probably more than 120, 150 years ago.
The other thing that while we were going through, before we got into the walled garden, they had some lumber that they had cut from the property. Some trees had gone down. You were taking
they were like huge, massive trees, and they were slabbed. And all I could see was tables and chairs. Obviously not, they were just slabs, but I was looking at them thinking they were just really beautiful pieces of wood.
And it's not rare or often that you get to see trees that size.
Yeah, that size, big thick slabs, almost, I should say thick slabs like that.
And then once we got inside the walled garden, this was a beautiful, beautiful area. Now remember, it is October, so it's the end of the season, so things weren't in their prime, but still
blooming. Loads of stuff was blooming. I loved it.
So if you look over here, you're going to see the blue or purple flower that you see. That is a monkshood, which is one of those plants that just is so spectacular this time of year.
Purple. Sorry, it's purple.
And then the kind of reddish pink one that you see, that's a sedum, and sedum are doing pretty well.
They were huge.
They were very, very large.
I've never seen that sedum that big, not where we come from anyway.
Yeah.
But of course, it's again probably very old and been there a long time. Or maybe not.
Actually, sedum grows pretty fast, so you can get results.
Yeah, stand corrected.
But these were particularly well suited in that spot. They look really nice.
Yeah. And a walled garden is so nice because you get microclimates. That's the big thing about a walled garden. You get all these little mini climates that you can grow stuff for a much longer time period.
Another plant that I thought was beautiful in there was the anemone, and that's the pink flower with the yellow center. Those were just full bloom all over the place in there. Loved it. Again, in this one, we're seeing more of the monkshood and the sedum in there.
Yep. Oh, and the little glass house in the background, beautiful. Like every one of us would want a greenhouse like that. And
inside, it was a lot of fun to go in there because, first of all, they had been collecting some of the bulbs and drying those for next season.
And onions, I think they were onions.
Maybe
they were just bulbs, but
they could have been onions. You know what? I don't know. I have no idea. And there was also tomatoes growing in there.
Oh, tomatoes that were growing on I know there's tomato vines, but these were like hanging off the ceiling. They were they grew up in the side and
they grew them up a string.
That was a string, and then they came down. Yeah,
very
cool.
And there are grapes in there as well.
Yeah.
So lots of different roses and hydrangeas too.
Yeah.
So they have a really nice collection, and there were still some of the roses were blooming. I love that white one. It was as big as my hand.
Huge. Yeah.
And then there was a very unique tree. Do you remember what it was called?
It was called it was very unique. No,
the myrtle.
Oh, the myrtle tree.
Yeah, and when I think of myrtle back in Michigan, we think of vinca.
I think of my grandmother. She was named Myrtle. Go ahead.
So we think of vinca, but they had a tree. Now, it's getting really blustery out here. Hopefully the sound isn't too bad. Well, let's see what we can do there. This myrtle tree is great. It wouldn't grow in our zone. It'd be a much warmer zone, but it had the waxy leaves and beautiful, some of them were in bloom, so it had the beautiful white flowers.
Yeah.
and then it also had berries. And if I remember
what color were the
correctly,
berries?
you tasted the berries.
I did taste the berries. Oh yeah, that's right. I tasted the berries because they were edible, and they tasted like a tiny, tiny, mushy apple that had gone off. So they were really small, but like I could see definitely them mashed and turned into jam or jelly or, you know. But I mean, I wouldn't like grab a handful and throw them in my mouth.
I also like there was some verbascum, which here I think they call it mullein, something like that. They make tea out of it.
He's looking at me like I'm supposed to confirm stuff. Oh yes, you're right.
Well, in another video we have a little bit of story on mullein. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know.
But anyway, this one was interesting because it's beautiful yellow flower on it, and I had not that familiar with verbascum, but I've seen more kind of paler colors. But that one is vibrant.
What is it called in layman's terms?
I don't know what its common name is. We'll have to look that up.
Yellow flower.
Yellow flower with kind of a pinky center.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
Works for me.
I'm glad we can agree on
Works
that.
for the non-garden guy. Oh, there's a great little garden feature. It was like a stick, what do you want, like a niche or...
Yeah, kind of a little folly tucked in the corner.
Yeah, and it was all made out of timber, and like I could just see myself sitting there reading a book and having a whiskey. There, I said it.
It just was very relaxing in there.
Beautiful.
And there was one on each side, so each one was a little bit different.
I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, it was straight down right directly across from it.
I was just so taken by the first one.
Yeah, it was very nice. And I mean, just walking through that garden was one of those things that, I don't know, I really loved it. Especially, I was so impressed with how much was blooming right now because I'm sure this was in its prime, from spring through summer. Yeah. And they also had tons of dahlias blooming. And that's one thing I've noticed here is that the dahlias have really picked up at this time of year.
Yeah, yeah. And it really made me realize that one of our next big projects will be a walled garden.
Oh dear.
We have a sunken garden.
I think the sunken garden serves the same purpose as the walled garden.
I think a walled garden would be pretty nice.
You can build a wall around the sunken garden. How's that?
I'm going to have to do something because I'm freezing out here, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's really blustery. We have beautiful blue skies, sunshine.
Sunshine, but it's just that we're at the shadow end of the cottage.
And I was very impressed though, because I was always thinking that the dahlias wouldn't do well here because it's so wet and so damp. Yeah. But I've seen a lot of beautiful ones. In the summertime, I don't see as many of the dahlias in bloom.
You don't. And it's great for begonias too. This climate's great for begonias.
Oh,
super for begonias.
Let me tell you, I think I'm going to go all begonias next year in the window boxes because they look so good right now.
Yeah.
I'm in love with those.
Yeah.
There are also some nasturtiums,
which I actually like because you can eat the flower, you can eat the leaf, you can eat I don't know if you can eat the roots, but you can eat them and they're great in salads.
Very peppery tasting. I like them.
I like them. I think they're really delicious.
And they had some also some crops in there as well.
Yeah.
And then when we came around, we got to see the house from the back, which is quite spectacular.
It's really a stunning structure and goes back. I really don't know how old it is, but it's obviously the family's lived in it for generations, and it's just beautiful from the outside.
And it is the type of place, they have a website, so you can go and see pictures of it. And it's also the type of place that you can rent out, and you rent out the whole castle. So people do it for weddings or special events or things like that. And you can stay over in the castle. And if you do, you get access to the gardens as well.
Yeah. So I think we should rent it out.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Just rent it out for a week or two.
We just have a couple of our closest friends stay with us in the
Let us know who's up for it. Who's up for it?
That'll be fun. And when we came around the back of the house, then we got to...
it's not a house, it's a castle. The back of the castle.
Yeah, the back of the castle. We were able to see that tree again, that Lebanese cedar, and it has a swing on it.
And we talked my sister into swinging.
And I don't know, watching her swing, I mean, I was just like...
And she was swinging. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, relaxing, scenic area. And it's also right close to the Shannon estuary, so you get a water view kind of when you look down the field.
Yeah, beautiful view of the water.
And from there we walked up that hill, and that's when we got to see that bridge.
Oh, again, a little rustic bridge.
I thought that was my favorite thing out of everything that was in
and
there.
Also, remember the beautiful big trees around the rustic bridge? There was like a little river that ran through.
I loved going across that bridge, standing on the bridge, kind of getting a 360 view because there are these old mature trees. I felt like I was someplace else because down below there were the ferns, and it felt like I was like hanging out with the dinosaurs.
A little prehistoric looking.
Yeah, and then up above, it was just really fantastic.
Really nice.
And then from there, we went up to
the Knight's
chair.
Yeah, sorry. The Knight's chair, which at one time, I guess the Knight would go and sit there, and it was a hillside of daffodils, and it was just called Daffodil Hill.
I bet it was spectacular in the springtime.
Yeah, like our lawn at home.
So see, we're not the first to have a bulb lawn. The Knight of Glin had his bulb lawn long before we did.
I'm copying the Knight of Glin.
And that was a great view because you got to see the house, you got to see the beautiful Lebanese cedar, and then you could see in the distance the Shannon estuary, which was really nice.
I'm just a squire. Go ahead.
Then
Self-appointed squire.
And then as we were walking through, we just got to enjoy all the different kinds of plants that were in that area. One in particular, though, had a fruit, and it was the lychee or lychee.
Did I
fruit?
taste that one too?
Yeah, that's the one. The red.
Oh, was that the one that looked like a strawberry? No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it looked like a strawberry, and it was actually tasted like a mango. I like that.
I thought it tasted like a plum. It was kind of mushy inside, but very nice.
I thought it tasted like a mango.
A mango plum.
It's very good anyway. That's another tree I have to get.
A couple things that you also noticed is that you saw some of they're like the leftover buds from the magnolias, and they're kind of, this is common even by us. They're
like a they spin, or what was it? They were kind of
they look deformed.
Yeah, very cool.
Every year we get phone calls from people who are telling us, are calling us going like, what's wrong with my magnolia? It's deformed. And that's normal for those to kind of grow into this really unusual way.
Can you dry them? They're really something to see.
I don't know.
Get back to us on that if anybody's dried magnolia bulbs or seeds, or what are they?
I don't know. It's the whatever.
This thing that hangs off the magnolia tree after the flowers are gone.
And then there was also the gunnera.
One of my favorites, and people hate it here.
It's terribly invasive. It sucks the nitrogen out of the soil.
Yeah,
so you have to be very careful where you put it.
Yeah, we got lots of land to put it somewhere.
And we've got pictures of, it's taller than Liam. The big fronds or whatever are like lily pads that we could sit on.
Yeah, and its Latin name is dinosaur food.
Liam's convinced of that. And you can see, we have a picture of your sister with our friendly men standing underneath them. It's
something to see. I think I've seen it. I see it all over the place here, but I know it is absolutely hated by people. Garden centers, if you ask for a gunnera. In fact, I went to one and asked the woman do you have any gunnera? And oh boy, was that she
then revealed that she had to spend a whole summer in horticulture school trying to eradicate it from an area. So she's like, I will never be a fan.
But we found a secret garden center somewhere over in Limerick, and they had gunnera. So I will be buying a gunnera. Hate it or not, I will be buying one.
Yeah, there were lots of other beautiful plants in there. Mm-hmm. And there's also the Knight's Walk in Glin. So that is part of I think it's connected.
That's public, isn't it?
It is public. So you can walk in. It's more of a forest walk. So it's not a formal garden like this, but it is open to the public. So if you're in Glin, it's signposted. You can go.
You go right down to the main gates of Glin Castle, and there's a car park just before you go through. Don't go through the gates, and just up to the gates, and then you can walk up to the Knights.
And the library in town also has an exhibit right now on the Knights of Glin, which we need to get in and see at some point.
Absolutely, I'd like to see it. Yeah.
So we're just very lucky to have that opportunity to go in there. I'm glad we got to share our little section of it with you and what we got to see. I'd love to go back at different times of year.
I'm very thankful to our friend Eman and Catherine Fitzgerald.
She gave us permission to
go in there because it's not open to the public.
If I remember correctly, it's maybe in June or maybe it's late May that they have the garden festival there. I'd love to make it to that if we're in town too.
We'll definitely do a video if we do.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let us know in the comments. And hey, maybe if you're up for it, you can meet us in Glin sometime.
Sounds good. Go Gunnera.
Oh, shh.